So gorgeous, today I'm really excited. I've just shot this really deep, juicy 20-minute lecture. It is the most simplified, sacred path to consistent cash flow and clients and really divine, juicy living so that you can do the work you're called to do without sacrificing yourself, your family, your body, your loved ones, your radiance, and your joy. So let's get started with the Divine Femme Cashflow system. So I am very, very serious in a really divine way. My heart is really expanded around the content that I'm going to share with you today. So it's really all about coming into a divine sense of love and presence for your own self first. If you want to make money online, you've got to feel that you deserve it. You've got to claim that you want it, that you desire it, and you've got to learn the strategy and educate yourself so that you can ascend, right? So at the heart of it all, it starts with self-love that then you go out and share into the world. And it's why today I wrote on this Divine Femme Cashflow system video, I put a heart right here, right? So at the heart of all that I do, and I don't often talk about this, but I am so lit up, turned on, and passionate about what I'm here to create. My heart is literally activated, and it's a really divine invocation that has allowed me to get out of my own way. So before we even go into this Divine Femme Cashflow system, really at the end of the day, at the foundation of all that you're going to create going forward in your business, it has to be rooted in number one, deep divine self-love, and then a passion to serve. The issue that we have, and this is where I'm going to go into the absolute premise of the Divine Femme Cashflow system, and that is that the Divine Femme needs to be held. The Divine Femme is nourishing and flowing. It's like if you could imagine your heart space open, your throat chakra up, the divine coming in, your womb full and open, your body really being held, your spirit being held and anchored in. That's what we're teaching here. It's about you being so divinely supported as you support others. And that comes down to your ability to claim the big bucks for your sacred work. So here's how I explain the Divine Feminine. It really needs to also be held by the masculine. So I'm not going to go deeply into funnels right now, but if you can imagine being held, like, you know, one of those couches, they're like half eggshells. They sort of like look like a half egg, and they've got this really sturdy, strong base, and you can kind of lie there in this really relaxed space, almost like a hammock, right? You're relaxed, you're open, you're nourished. And that's exactly what balancing the femme, the divine femme, with the divine masculine is all about. Every single business online needs to be held by the structure and the system. And if the system is off, the cha-ching will not be there. Your cash register will never consistently ring a ding, 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 okay? So you need to have the structure so that you can relax into being deeply held. And when I was first really beginning to grow my business, I mean, the truth is I failed for the first 2 years because I had it all backwards, right? I kept working really, really hard, pushing myself, showing up. And yet when I went to make a sale, it was like $500, maybe $1,000 if I was lucky. And I was really working so incredibly hard, and I had to really push and hustle for those leads. So for example, right now, as I'm shooting this video, I've got a sales team. I've got leads coming in every single day. We book at least 100 to 150 calls every single month. If I close just 40 of those calls every single month at anywhere between a $2,000 offer up to a $30,000 offer, you can do the math yourself. We're in hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And that's what I'm here to teach you, to be able to grow a sustainable business. A sustainable business that has sustainable cash flow starts with you getting this structure and strategy down. So let's talk about, are you excited? I hope you are, because this really, really lights me up. I was just speaking to the team who's actually filming right now and is a bit emotional. And I had a few clients sell, and it just breaks my heart open in such a good way because I feel so honored to be part of this movement where we have women rising up, claiming financial sovereignty so that we can go out and do the work that we're called to do. Because underneath that is such suffering. We feel shame and guilt we can barely afford to pay our bills, or you might even be at 6 figures already and you're just still working way too hard for the money because the structure isn't there. And when a woman starts to get this deeply in her soul, her brain starts to repattern, because it is a repatterning. It is hard sometimes for someone who's never heard this content before to really trust it, because we're so conditioned to work for so little, to hold back, to not show up so fully, to hide our power, to diminish ourselves, to fit in. If you want to be successful in the online space, you are not meant to fit in. You are meant to take a stand, you are meant to step up, and you are meant to be seen. So I'm also going to say to you right now, if anyone has told you to hide, to not be too full of yourself, I say, let's flip it around right now. Give yourself permission to be full of your own self-presence, full of your own teaching, full of the message that you want to share in the world. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to have hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of people lining up to be part of your community. And then a great portion of those will eventually buy from you. And that's when you build $1 million plus brand, right? Okay, so let's talk about the old money paradigm. The old money paradigm is selling like $100, $200 sessions, maybe a $500 session. I remember my acupuncturist saying, who really makes $1 million a year? You'd have to be a surgeon to do that. And I said, well, look, darling, if you're going to stay stuck at 65, charging $90 for an acupuncture session, for her to make $100,000 a year, she would have to sell, what is that? I don't even know. Let me do the numbers. $100,000 divided by 90. You've got, get this, 1,000, it's 1,111 spots. That's 1,111 hours of work. Now, let's compare it to the new money paradigm. New money paradigm. Oh yes, baby. Okay, this is great. Can't spell it, you know what I mean. Okay, new money paradigm is, if instead, and I'll use this as a perfect example, she was selling adrenal health packages where people or her clients would go on a 90-day immersion together with her, where it would come with, say, all this beautiful divine acupuncture, maybe a 1-day intensive, some herbs, and maybe even a couple of counseling sessions. And she was selling that for $5,000 for her to then earn. So say that's $100,000 divided by 5,000. She's looking at 20 spots, only 20 spots again. Could you imagine? So you're both earning 100K. Right, it's 100K. You've got the old paradigm, which is that many hours and that many spots. Not going to happen, by the way. And you're constantly hustling and pushing, and there's no consistency and there's no guarantee. Whereas she could literally sell a $5,000 offer, sell 20 spots, and make 100 grand. Now, how many people do you think out of her current network this woman has where she could upsell them into a $5,000 offer? This woman has been an acupuncturist for years. She's got a great following. She could at least pitch 20 people, and even if she just sold, say, 10, and she sells them at 5,000, she's got her 50K, and which she can literally do in the next, say, 2 weeks. Hello, cash in the door. Then she can use that to reinvest back into her business, do her Facebook ads and her funnels. If we break it down also with the hours, let's have a look at how much time she's working in comparison as well. So making more money, when you position your work with power, you will get paid. And not only will you make more money, you're also doing less work, right? People are not paying for your time. They're paying for the transformation. So if I knew without a shadow of a doubt within 90 days, I'm going to go on this divinely transformative journey, and I was going to see this practitioner, say, for a total of 7 hours, right? 7 hours. And I knew that I was going to be deeply supported. I was going to get these incredible herbs. I was going to be checked in on a couple of times, say during the week. Plus I had 7 hours of acupuncture and maybe say a half day intensive. So 7 hours of acupuncture, say 7 hours of her time. And say she might do 1 hour of check-ins over that, say, 90-day journey, and maybe she does a 3-hour beautiful immersion. So that's 11 hours. So if for every package, if she's got 11 hours by 20 packages, she's done. So 220 hours, and she's made 100K. And also, by the way, potentially over a month or two of a selling period, she'll make that in a month or two, not a whole year, in a month or two. And she's only worked 220 hours instead of 1,111 hours. So she's just cut her workload down by almost a fifth. Now do you get the power of this work? And that is without spending a cent on advertising. Most of our students make at least 20, 30, 40, 50 grand, up to 100 grand, even 150,000 without spending any money on advertising. But I love advertising. Love it, love it, love it, love it. It's what has helped me scale to multi-millions, right? It absolutely has. But it's not just advertising. It's really around your content and the journey that you're taking a client on or potential client on, right? Your prospect. They see you, they see an ad. And I was speaking to a woman yesterday. She just spent $8,000 on some dude building her funnel. I'm like, well, what's the funnel? Can you explain the funnel to me? Oh, it almost broke my heart. The funnel is an ad. Let me see the ad copy. Ad copy is so nebulous. Ad copy is sort of all over the place. She's a counselor talking about fulfillment. I am not scrolling Facebook looking for fulfillment. You've got to hone down the problem even deeper than that, right? So that was one part of it that was just completely off. The next part of her entire funnel for $8,000 was an ad to a bot. The bot message had no content whatsoever. There was no additional content there, prepping and priming and nurturing that potential client, establishing that counselor as the expert, basically answering the question, here's what I can do for you. So by the time they get on the call, you've positioned yourself and you've established trust. At the heart of all conversion is connection. Without connection, you will not have conversion. It's also why I'm right here with you right now. Connecting, offering you value. You've got to get that into play, right? Why would you buy from me if I didn't establish myself? Like, I know what I'm doing. It's clear I know what I'm talking about. Because I would think that you would be silly to invest in someone that hasn't established themselves and proven that they actually deserve that you trust them to give you the money. It's exactly what you need to do online. You need to establish yourself as a leader, right? And we teach you how to do that, how to get out there, craft content, your intellectual property, so on and so forth. So back to the story of this divine woman. So then once she got them on the bot, as I said, there was no content, then inviting them to get to a call. I said, well, how many calls did you book? 2 calls. One person didn't show up, one person did. I said, okay, how much did you spend? $420 over 3 weeks. Cool, okay. What was the price that you charged that person when they bought from you? $135. And I said, okay. I said, do I have your full, willingness to listen to my feedback? Are you ready to hear what I have to tell you about this funnel? And she says, yes, please. I said, I'm sorry, but this funnel will never, ever, ever work. You are already in a loss. You've spent $420 and you've sold a $135 session. You're in loss. You are losing money. And then she said something like, but he could end up buying 8 sessions. I'm like, well, why didn't you package it up that way? Because right now it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. And also, kind of like, bless your soul, because this is not your fault to some degree, but that man who bought that session needs a lot more than one session. He needs to go on a divine healing journey, and he's not getting that from one session. One session, the first initial session with a counselor, I'm sorry, you're just downloading all your disaster, all your history. You haven't even started the work. So, final comparison. Let's imagine this. I love this. I hope you're enjoying this. This is good. Okay, and making mistakes. We all make mistakes online. It's about finding a solution and course correcting and fixing it and not getting into overwhelm, thinking that you effed it up. So I told that woman too. So I said, don't worry, it's fixable, and let me take you through the process. So I said, imagine if you had spent the 420. Anyway, we need to improve the ads. We need about 3 or 4 different ads going at one time. And we need to get really clear with the targeting. If you are speaking to everybody who needs healing, you're speaking to nobody. Did you hear that? If you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to no one. You can't expect to be reaching out to thousands, tens of thousands of people on social media. You've got 2.1 billion active users on Facebook. Huge majority of those people would be your audience. But say we targeted it down to 20,000 people. Speaking to 20,000 people, you need to reach them right there on what they're praying for. Someone is there praying so that they are not chronically exhausted all the time. You need to write an ad specifically to that. You have someone there praying for their marriage to be saved, their borderline divorce. What type of ad copy needs to reach them? That's how you need to be thinking. You need to speak specifically to that person's pain so that they see you and hear you and reach you and know it's for them. Otherwise, they're just gonna pass you by. So that's one part of her funnel that needs to be fixed. It's that ad copy and getting the positioning really on point. The next part is this. Imagine, so she spent the 420, just say she did, but that one client who had bought, say, a $2,500 package. That means that her profit margin would have been $2,080. That means it's kind of working, right? She could do better with it, she could tweak it. But because she went and only sold that, you see, she's in loss. She's in loss, what is it? 420 minus 135. And think about all the work. That is 285 in the negative. And it gets worse. When I asked her more details, she then said I have to split that with one of my counselors 50-50. So she's even in more loss. It doesn't work. So then I said to her, well, if you want to ensure that your counselors all earn, say, $70,000 working part-time with you, they've got to earn $70,000, or that's just for their income, and you want to make an extra 70,000 profit per counselor, they've each got to pull in 140,000. 140,000, you've got 2 of them, multiply by 2. This isn't even to do with what she's selling personally herself. This is just her counselors. They've got to bring in $280,000 a year for her to make a profit of 140. Now, it won't be 140 completely because she's also going to have that ad expense. But you can see that if that's how you do it, you want to work backwards, and that's what we do for you. You want to look at, well, what money do I want to make? And then work backwards on, well, what is the offer? What am I selling? Who am I speaking to? What problem am I solving? And then what's the funnel? First phase might be just going to your audiences, going to your list and selling, making your first, say, 5, 10, 15 sales. And then you absolutely want to build a funnel. Okay, Divas, so I hope I've served you today to show you that the new money paradigm is the way to go. I want you to go away and think about how much money do you want to earn over the next 90 days? How much do you want to earn in, say, even 30 days? And then let's look at a year's time. Where do you want to be in a year? And come ready for that call. I cannot wait for you to have that divine conversation. I cannot wait to hear how you go. I hope that you actually do decide to work with us because we have so much to teach you, and I cannot wait to see you rocking it in divine, holy grace and riches as you claim your sovereign, personal, and financial power. Thank you for watching. Also on this page, we have 3 more videos called Sacred Money Miracle. If you have time, absolutely watch those. They're jam-packed with information. They're going to deeply serve you. So thank you again for watching, and I cannot wait to speak to you soon. Bye. Okay, beauty. So I hope you really enjoyed the Divine Femme Cashflow system and that it's really made it laser lucid clear about the power of the work that I teach. I'm here to serve you. So the next step is to get on a call with one of my divas, have a heart-to-heart chat. There's no icky, forced, pressured sales. This is about you really looking at your business, analyzing it, us supporting you to make a conscious choice about whether you want us to help you make more money than you ever have before with ethics, grace, and speed and joy and nourishment from the overflow. So sign up at ceodivachat.com and we cannot wait to speak with you. And thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you so much love.